Hey there guys, welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show, and on this episode I don't really have anything specifically I want to talk about. I just wanted you guys to look at my stupid face for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and I can answer any and all questions that you guys have. We can talk about movies, life, whatever you want, but how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a few weeks, I think, and I'm sort of starting to miss you guys. I just want to open up to you and share all my emotions. But either way, we have a quick question here that was asked earlier, and I don't want to miss it. So here it is. Robert Bartson, thanks for the Streamlabs chat here. How about that Dune trailer? I'm hoping it'll do Star Wars better than Star Wars, especially as of lately. And that cover of Eclipse by Pink Floyd, let's do it. The trailer tasted better than Tiger's Blood. Well, here's the thing. I did not watch the new Dune trailer, but everything you just described, I need that. I love a smart man thinking sci-fi flick. And we don't get enough of those, and I want more. And this is everything I need it to be, hopefully. Now, the reason I didn't watch the trailer is because unless that trailer is put into my eyeballs, or I'm at the movie theater, which we are going back to the movie theater now, which is kind of a weird, bizarre thing to say, but unless I'm at a theater and it's presented to me and I'm forced to watch it, then I'll watch it. But here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to savor the flavor. I don't need to be sold on watching Dune. I'm going to go watch Dune. So that's not the problem. I just don't want to know anything else about it. I just want to go watch the movie and be blown away and immersed into another environment. That's what I need. I need to be taken to another planet and see giant sandworms or something. I don't know. That's what I want. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And maybe I'll give in and watch the trailer. And speaking of trailers, YouTube, I like you. Without you, I probably wouldn't be here right now. What would I be doing? I don't know. Delivering pizza, selling used cars? I couldn't tell you. But why is it in 2020, I still get copyright claims on videos that are more than covered under fair use? I did a reaction video to the new Batman trailer, which was just phenomenal a few weeks ago. And then yesterday, I get a copyright claim on said trailer, even though I muted parts of the trailer and the music because I knew it would happen. I still got a copyright claim on my trailer reaction review, which more than covered. It's fair use by definition. But now I have to go dispute it. And it's just, why is that such a pain in the ass? You would think as a studio, you put out a trailer for marketing purposes. You want people to see this. You want people to talk about it. You want a discussion. You want YouTubers to talk about your movie trailer, thus gets more views, more discussion, more buzz for your trailer. Why would you even have a copyright algorithm in place to pick up on that? Just let the trailer be taken and used wherever it wants to go. You know, I could understand if someone ripped the movie and showed it on YouTube, but showing the trailer, it makes no sense. I don't know. So yeah, it's always been a stupid thing. It's like it's marketing 101. Let people take your trailer and do whatever they want with it, as long as it's positive. Why not? So anyway, that was my quick rant about getting a stupid copyright claim. Let's answer some more questions. And here we go. Andrew Smith, Beetlejuice in 4K was awesome. Have you seen it yet? Yes, I have. I have a stack of movies here I want to talk about at some point during this live stream, and we will. I have actually not physically watched any of these copies. Now, I have, of course, seen some of these movies, but I've heard great things. Speaking of Beetlejuice on 4K, it's still in the plastic, savoring the flavor. I heard the 4K was phenomenal. It looks great. Hey, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Hey. I don't know why I did a Beetlejuice impression meets Batman 1989. But anyway, I love this film. I always have. One of the most bizarre films. It also has sandworms as well, which were sort of inspired by Dune. So there you are. But yeah, Beetlejuice looks great on 4K, I've heard. I'm also going to talk about The Goonies, some other movies down there I'm going to talk about with you guys. But for now, I'm just going to answer your questions, and we'll have a good time doing that. All right, the next one comes from... And by the way, this isn't updating right now for some reason. I don't know why. I think there's some kind of weird delay happening right now I don't know why, but I will try to answer all of the questions. All right, Andrew Smith, we already answered that. David Katya, well, thanks for the chat donation there. Rick LP, with all the live action Batman flicks, don't you think it's time for a rated R version? I'm taking F-bombs, bloody violence, and nudity. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I mean, this new Matt Reeves Batman sort of looks like the closest we're probably ever going to get to a rated R Batman movie, but I still don't think this will be rated R. It doesn't need to be. I mean, how dark and gruesome do you need to make a Batman movie? How much blood and gore do you need to put into your Batman movie? I mean, those things are awesome, but you got to look at it from a studio's perspective. Is it necessary to the story? Is it necessary to the character? Maybe, maybe not. Would I like to see Batman beating criminals to a bloody pulp? Sure, but if you can just tweak it just a little bit to make it PG-13 to get some younger viewers in the audience to enjoy that film, that's fine. But there are some characters that I almost had an aneurysm right there. But there are some characters that necessitate that rated R rating, like Deadpool, for example. Like, that needs to be rated R, or else you're not going to get the character of Deadpool with the language that he uses. But Batman, I don't know. I don't know if it's completely necessary. Z White, have you seen Mel Gibson's Ransom? I have seen Mel Gibson's Ransom multiple times. I like it. My favorite thing about that film is where he's pretty much like, and spoilers, but the movie came out in 1996, where he's just like, I'm not going to pay you the money. What I am going to do is hire the best manhunters to come after you. If anything happens to my son, you will live the rest of your life in fear. I like that he didn't give in to the kidnappers, and that was pretty much the wisest way to handle that situation. So, and Gary Sinise in that film, just so creepy. Lieutenant Dan, I didn't know it could be so creepy. Actually, I did. Lieutenant Dan is creepy himself. But yeah, I like Ransom. Lone Tiger, I completely agree with the stupid copyright laws. I've worked extremely hard for months on short films for people to see on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, only for them to be taken down for copyright just because music, even though I gave credit and it's fair use. Yeah, sometimes it's just a robot algorithmic thing that picks them up, and there's not much you can do. Usually most studios, they have a third-party company handle their copyright claims, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They click claim because they feel like they have to earn their pay for doing it. You know, if they're hired to find copyrighted material, they're just going to click on everything. And if you dispute it, and if you're in the right, typically you win. Sometimes they're still morons about it, and they say no, and you'll be like, well, it's a movie review. Under the actual law of what fair use copyright law is, this meets the criteria. So you're illegally making a false claim, which could honestly lead to a countersuit, but I'm not rich enough to sue anyone, so I don't do that. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But it has gotten better over years, I will say that. It is, right now, the copyright system on YouTube is a lot better than it was 5 years ago, I can tell you that. James Doshier, favorite Mel Gibson film, mine is The Patriot. That's such an underrated film. I love The Patriot more than life. I mean, that is Roland Emmerich's best film he's ever made. Now, I love me some Independence Day. It's great. David, if they want HBO, they'll call you. But yeah, I think The Patriot is actually his best film ever made. Not enough people talk about it. I don't get it. When it comes to 4th of July, that's the movie I watch. That, Independence Day, and Stand By Me. Those are the 3 4th of July go-to films. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about The Patriot, you have Mel Gibson. Just if you meet someone and they've never seen The Patriot and they don't want to watch it, here's what you do. You just show them that 3-minute sequence with Mel Gibson losing his shit, killing a whole bunch of redcoats with a tomahawk to save his son. Phenomenal movie. G Money X, Stir of Echoes, or Drive. Why are those the two comparison movies? Interesting. I like Drive. And the thing is, when I first saw Drive, I didn't love it. I saw it in the theater, and I guess I just didn't know what to think about it. And then after rewatching it and watching it on Blu-ray, it became probably one of my favorite films of 2011. And just, I can go back and rewatch the opening scene of Drive, that opening car chase, over and over. It never gets tiresome to me. Just the suspense, the way it's laid out, and I don't know. I wish more films would do something like that. It's so subtle and simple, but it's like intense and thrilling. And plus, speaking of Ryan Gosling and Drive, I still have my Scorpion Drive jacket. I think it's hiding over there in the closet. I sort of want to put it on right now, but I'm not quite sure where it's at. All right, the next one comes from Benny. If Matt Reeves emailed you and said you could watch Batman right now, but only on your phone, would you do it? I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, because people who watch movies on their phone, it makes me want to take their hand and go, no. But yes, I would. I'm sorry. I would. But I mean, that would be seeing how the movie's been delayed constantly, and they only shot 30% of the movie so far. And then when they went back into production, I guess Robert Pattinson got Kung Flu, and now he's out for a while. So hopefully that movie hits its release date. I really don't want to wait any longer. But yeah, I'd probably watch it. Would I hate myself? Maybe, but it's the best I can do, so I'll take it. Abanash. Watch The King 2019 from Netflix, starring Timothy Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. Call Me By Your Name is my only gay romance film, which I love. Watch The King. I have not seen The King. I probably will. I'll tell you what I watched on Netflix yesterday. I watched Menace to Society. And I've always liked that film. I like it. And then I watched Back to the Future Part 2. Could you talk about a more odd double feature? Menace to Society, this urban culture violent film, and then Back to the Future 2. It was great, though. I've always been a fan of doing double features like that. You can't watch two of the same movies back to back. You have to watch completely polar opposite of films. And if you haven't seen Menace to Society, go check it out. It's on Netflix right now. Joe Mama. First of all, love you, man, and hope all is well. Non-movie related question: what's your favorite cologne, and are you doing any more gift unboxings? You mean like viewer mail unboxings? Maybe once I get a new PO box. I did just move a month ago, so I do want to do it. So probably in the future, I want to do it. As far as my favorite cologne, I did this sponsorship for Tap Out. It was like this Tap Out body spray, and it actually smelled pretty good. They sent me like 15 bottles of the shit, and that was 3 years ago. And I still have like 10 bottles of it. So I used Tap Out body spray with John Cena's face on it. It smells pretty good. Don't judge me. I smell like John Cena now. You can't see me, but you can smell me. All right. Did I miss a question down here? I don't think I did. Okay. Sorry, guys. I always lose where I'm at in this chat. Oh, Our World. Do you have a P.O. box? I'd love to send you my first feature film on Blu-ray, of course, and get your final flicking thoughts on it. It's called Neon, and it's about the dark side of the porn industry. Really? That sounds interesting. Not gonna lie to you. Why don't you put that on like Amazon Prime, man? You should put that on Amazon Prime. Charge people like $1.99 to watch it. Yeah, when I get a PO box, sure, send me that shit, man. I'd like to check it out. Sounds really cool. Is it like a documentary? Is it like an actual film? Greg Z. John, I stumbled upon your MySpace page and saw the artwork movie poster you did for Flick Films movie The Thief. The city is his. The mask he was holding looked a bit ominous. What's your backstory to that poster? You did a good job with it. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I still have that poster. It's actually downstairs right now. I think that was the first thing I ever did in Photoshop. So what I did, I went to school for graphic design, and they're like, hey, make a movie poster. So I was like, I'm going to make a cool movie poster with me standing on a ledge looking at the city. It was sort of like all the tropes I like from movie posters put into one. But yeah, so that was just a college project, and that was my first project I think I ever did in Photoshop. So then I printed it out and it was on my wall for many years. But yeah, thank you, man. And thanks for looking at my MySpace page from 2007. There's also a weird picture of me and a goat on there from the zoo. Don't ask questions. All right. Lone Tiger. Do you ever worry when you do live streams or Q&A that you don't know the movies that people mention or talk about? If so, how do you handle that situation, and does it affect your content you create? Yeah, you can't know everything about everything. I mean, there's many times where someone mentions a movie I've never seen or never heard. I'm not a walking, talking IMDb. I don't have a microchip in my head from IMDb. I can't know every actor, every director. So, and that's okay. So yeah, I just read the question and I say, I don't know. And then I start talking about something that doesn't relate whatsoever. That's usually how I handle it. Michael Leahy. Hey, John, I recently got a smart TV and 4K player. The Bridge in the River Kwai looks effing amazing on 4K. Have you seen that edition? On 4K? Yeah, I used to actually have it. It was like a really thick edition of The Bridge in the River Kwai, and it was, they actually took, have you ever noticed like 1950s, 60s film? Something about the film stock has like a nice, glowy, magical look to it, and it, whenever they do a proper, transfer, a 4K transfer to Blu-ray or 4K, it always looks phenomenal. And I just feel like they took more pride with older film stock, maybe in the 50s or 60s. But yeah, it's a great looking Blu-ray. I haven't watched the movie since I probably bought it 10 years ago, and I actually traded in the Blu-ray some time ago because as great as the film is, I'm probably not going to go back and rewatch it over and over. But yeah, but I do kind of want to watch it now that you said that. Another great 4K, well, it hasn't hit 4K yet, but it does have a 4K transfer, is Taxi Driver from 76. That's one of the best Blu-ray transfers I've ever seen in my entire life. When you watch that movie, it looks like you're watching film. That's the best recommendation I can give for like a classic film with a perfect Blu-ray transfer. Nathaniel Glidewell? It's probably Glidewell. I just can't read. Saw Tenet, only 8 people in the theater, needed a good movie, but wasn't no emotion. Also, can you put a signed print of your FlickPick logo on your store? The thing is on my by the way, speaking of awesome, look at this. I want you guys to look at this. Would you look at it? Look at that shirt right there. This is it. Don't get scared now. It's got a VHS tape, my stupid face right there. Check it out. You guys check that out at my Teespring store. By the way, if you guys do pick one up, tweet me a picture of that shit and I'll share it. But yeah, as far as putting a signed copy of anything on there, it comes from whatever manufacturer makes it and it gets sent right to you. I don't actually have access to any of it. So to sign it, I don't have the ability, but maybe I could make that like, a Patreon perk or something. I could sign whatever you want and send it to you. Maybe. I don't. It could be. Typically, when I used to do fan mail unboxing videos, if you sent me something, I would sign it and send it back to you. So that could be an option in the future as well. So as far as seeing Tenet, yeah, I saw Tenet a few weeks ago. I'm so sorry on the late. There's like 5 movies I need to review. It was a busy couple weeks, guys. A lot going on in the background, but yeah, I do want to talk about it. I have a lot of things to say. And Tenet, the best way I can describe Tenet is I felt nothing. That's I'll leave it there. All right. Carter Lovejoy. Are you excited for Home Alone and Back to the Future on 4K? I wish for Home Alone 1 and 2 on 4K set, but Disney has been picky on their catalog titles for physical media lately. Yeah, I haven't really looked into Home Alone getting a 4K. I think I heard rumors of it happening. I'll buy it. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that I'm excited for is Back to the Future to hit 4K, which I just once again watched Back to the Future yesterday. on Netflix, and I own it on Blu-ray, but for some odd reason, it was so much easier just to watch on Netflix. But I am curious, how good can you make Back to the Future on 4K? Like, how good can you make that film look without ruining the illusion of the film? Because you can already see like the prosthetics on like Doc Brown's face in some scenes, like on his neck where he's supposed to look older. You can see it like it looks like chicken skin peeling off on high resolution. So I just don't want 4K to ruin that illusion too much. It scares me. Our World. Okay. I thought I already answered this. So Our World. No, I do not have a PO box currently. I already answered this. I'm sorry. Okay. It repeated itself. Patrick. Hey, Patrick. How's it going, man? Hey, John. How are you? Ever thought of doing your movie reviews during a stream? Like taking your time and discussing the film and stream. You'd clip it out and put it on your main channel. I don't know. Just more of a fan of long form, unedited content. Yeah, sometimes I guess in my live streams I do go on like little tangents I could cut out and put into their own video occasionally, and I've done that a few times. As far as doing like a movie review during a live stream, I feel like I would miss a lot of things I want to say, because when I do a live stream, my mind is going 30 different directions, a million miles per hour. And sometimes when I can sit there and do a pre-recorded review and then edit it together and then show some visuals to sort of support my point, I think I like that style a bit more. But sometimes, when it's just a conversational video where I can answer questions or talk about random topics, rather than dive into depth for 10 minutes on each one, I prefer the live stream for that. I would just be irritated if I miss some valid points I wanted to make. But I guess I could write them down. I don't know. Then again, I hate editing, so that could be an idea in the future. But I am a fan of the long, unedited content as well. I prefer it. It's a little bit more immersive and adds an extra level of like voyeurism to it all. That's what we're all doing here. All right. Your name here. Hey, John. If you can never watch The Dark Knight or T2 ever again, which would you choose? Thanks. Someone actually asked me that question before, and I said I would just choose death. I need to see. I love The Dark Knight. Damn it. Damn you. But I still have Batman Begins, so I could live. I could be okay with my life. Probably I need T2. I just think that's a quintessential action movie. I really do. It's my favorite action movie of all time. Like, The Dark Knight's my favorite Batman film, but T2 is my favorite action film. So I'm going to go with T2. Abinash. Have you watched Tenet? It's going to flop. Yeah, once again, I did watch Tenet. I think it's making actually decent money, and it's not Tenet's fault. The majority of movie theaters aren't open. It's everything going on right now. So I think if every theater was open and everything was back to normal, it would be making a ton of money at the box office. But the other thing is, when you have a film like Tenet, which is a spectacle movie, but the thing about Tenet is it came out a few weeks ago, and have you noticed there's not much discussion? No one's really talking about the movie. I honestly don't believe the film resonated with people. Films like Inception resonated with people. They enjoyed it. You want to go back and rewatch it. Tenet just pissed me off when I watched it. Imagine me playing like loud drum music during this entire live stream where you can't really hear what I'm saying, but I'm giving you very important information. But I play loud music over that important information. And then at the end of the video, I say, okay, did you understand everything? And you go, no. That's what Tenet was. It was sort of frustrating, but fun to look at. Did you guys like Tenet? Let me know. I wanted to. It was my number one most anticipated movie of the year, and it was I was let down. Night King 01, thoughts on the new Dune trailer? That was a question earlier. I said I did not watch it because I'm trying to avoid trailers for Dune. I just want to be surprised and immersed. My question to you guys, is Dune still coming out in January like it was, or December? Is Dune still coming out in December? I will double check and answer my own question, because I want to know. It was originally December 18th. Okay, has not changed. Well, that's good. Good. I have something to look forward to in December. Good. I'm happy. But no, I haven't watched the trailer. I don't want to see anything else. I just want to see the movie. Derek Brown. I love you, John. Well, hey, Derek. I love you too. And thanks, man. Beatdown. What would be your dream video game to movie adaptation? Well, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm going to talk about it extensively. It's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. With all the zombie movies that came out over the last 10 years, I don't understand why we never got a Zombies Ate My Neighbors movie. Think about the possibilities. Or if they wanted to make a Zombies Ate My Neighbors Netflix TV series, that would be phenomenal. Imagine it. You could have like a zombie show with some levity. It could take place in like the 1980s. You could have like that 1980s nostalgia vibe going on. And that would be phenomenal. The game alone speaks for itself. You just take all the cool stuff in there and add it into a show. You know, you could have like a kid with a squirt gun that's filled with like battery acid that squirts it into zombies' faces. That's what I would like to see. I know that's probably not everyone's pick, but I've been saying it for years. A Zombies Ate My Neighbors movie or TV series done right. I would like to see that. Maybe it's because I love the game so much, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. Plus, I just like post-apocalyptic shows and movies. But thank you for the question, Beatdown. Scarly. Have you ever watched King of Queens? I think it's a good sitcom, but I've been wrong before. Yeah, I've watched a few episodes. Kevin, I'm not a huge fan of Kevin James. I'm just not. I don't know. He kind of comes across a little bit bland for me. I'm just not a fan. But it was an okay show the few times I watched it. Lucas Bernowskiewicz. You seem to diss streaming services a lot. Are you still a fan of them? When do I diss streaming services? I just prefer physical media. I just made a video for HBO Max talking about my 10 favorite movies on there you need to go watch on the FlickPick channel. So go watch that video. It's a good time. No, I'm all about streaming services. They're convenient. They have movies that you want to watch. I watch a shit ton of Netflix and HBO Max. And Amazon Prime. I started watching The Boys. I got on episode 2. But I just prefer physical media. I really do. If it's a film I've never seen, I think like watching it on 4K for the first time is like how I have to do it. Manuel Alejandro. Just saw Empire Strikes Back and The Dark Knight in theaters. It was magical and mystical. Are there any old movies you wish to have seen in theaters? Yeah, earlier I said, did I say this? No, I said this on a Patreon Q&A video. By the way, guys, there's a brand new Patreon only and YouTube members only Q&A coming. I just shot it right before this. But what I said in that video was, I would like someone to give me a lobotomy, erase all of my movie knowledge, take me back to the late 1970s, and watch something like Star Wars for the first time with an audience. Could you imagine watching that? Like not quite understanding what's going to happen, and then just everyone in the theater watching that movie. Or another one from the 70s would be Jaws. Like imagine watching Jaws for the first time without knowing anything that came for the next 40 years after it. That would also be really fun and immersive, just especially watching it with an audience. Joe Mama, would a Back to the Future reboot be a sin? Yes and no, but I'm going to say this. Imagine if they made sort of a sequel spin-off movie. Now, hear me out for a second. Hear me out. We already have the original Back to the Future trilogy. We have it. No one can take that away from us, but I love the concept so much. Is if Robert Zemeckis came back and he's like, I have a great idea for a spin-off movie that continues the story, but introduces new characters. Okay, that sounds interesting. And I think that would be a fun movie depending on what you did with it. And as long as you had cameos from Doc Brown and Marty McFly in there, I think you could have a fun. Time travel movies are fun. And I would like to see a continuation of that story to some degree. So I would like to see it. Now if it was a complete reboot, No, 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 no. That makes me angry. It makes my mitts tighten up and I just want to go, no. Let's just keep going. It's getting weird. Alberto AVR. Favorite Del Toro film? I recommend you Kronos. Let's see. My favorite Del Toro film? I would probably say... I have a love-hate relationship with that guy. I don't know. I like the first Hellboy. I know most people would probably disagree with that being his best film. Blade 2 I like. Actually, I like Blade 1 more. You know my biggest complaint with some of his movies is he tries to add too much. His movies sometimes in the background look like the same lighting I put in my background. Like there's yellow and blue lights. Like watch some of the Hellboy movies. There's like yellow lighting in the background for no reason. Or watch Blade 2. It's like random bits of yellow lights in the background. I don't know. It always threw me off a little bit. Weird thing I pick up on his movies, but maybe the first Hellboy or Blade 2, I would say. If you want an honest answer. As far as Kronos goes, yeah, someone else told me to watch that. Brevin's Flicks and Games. Hey, Brevin, how's it going? Hey, John, just checking in. Also, after watching Dredd recently, I feel like reviewing it, and I agreed with you with it needing a sequel. If you can continue to support me, you're the man, Flickpick. Yeah, Brevin's Flicks and Games has a YouTube channel. Check him out. He's a smaller YouTuber, so show him some support. Yeah, I've been saying this forever. Why doesn't Dredd have a TV series? I don't understand. It's just like Netflix. You're making shitty movies like Project Power, which costs like what did that cost? $100 million or some obscene number? Or you're making like movies like Six Underground with Michael Bay. Make a good TV series. You know, take Dredd, buy the rights to it, show that. Carl Urban would probably come back and be Dredd again. That would be a great series. Our World. Neon, the porn movie, is not a documentary. It's a narrative. We unfortunately don't have the line, don't just stare at it, eat it, in the movie. I'll tweet you the trailer later tonight and you can rub the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Speaking of that, I just watched Red Dragon last night. I've seen the movie many times and it's sort of it is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs with Edward Norton. I like that movie. It's probably Brett Ratner's best film. You know, the guy who directed X-Men Last Stand. But I like Red Dragon. And every scene with Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, it's just so captivating. I love it. Just a random thought, but I wanted to share that. Night King 01. I wish they would put more characterization in Tenet to make us care more. John David Washington and Robert Pattinson's charisma was not enough. I agree. I liked seeing them on screen. It was kind of like a nice buddy vibe at times. And John David Washington's character he actually had charisma and he had sort of a sense of humor about him, which was nice, but I didn't know anything about their character. And then you have like a forced love story in the film that I just didn't believe for 1 second. And then it gets convoluted for the sake of being convoluted. And there's some things there's big moments in the film where I don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. Like I'm like, I want to care right now, but I'm not quite sure why this matters. And then 20 minutes later, I'm still not sure why it mattered. So yeah, it's a frustrating movie to watch. But I agree with you. A little more character development would have been nice. Azim the Dream Reviews. Part of me wants to review as many movies as you, but I've become very selective with my movies. Even when theaters reopened, I saw Jurassic Park, not Tenet. I don't review that many movies, to be honest. I am selective myself. But yeah, I understand, man. Sometimes, there's something about going back and watching a movie that you already know is going to be good. It makes it that much more enjoyable. I'm guilty of that as well. I sort of rewatch my 20 favorite films over and over again. But then again, when a new movie comes out, I'll go watch it. Like, it's just been disappointing. It's disappointment after disappointment. Bill and Ted, Face the Music, I was disappointed by. Tenet, I was disappointed by. Mulan, I was disappointed by. New Mutants, I was disappointed by. So, I mean, that's like 4 out of 4. Like, how? I thought one of them would have been great. And some people might disagree with me, but maybe I've just become, I don't know, maybe I've become picky in my old age. I don't know. I have my reasons, though, but I won't go into it unless someone asks me. I won't waste your time. All right, the next one comes from Colin. Video on ideal 4K TV settings for best experience. Let me try to comprehend your question as I take a drink of this. All right. Video on ideal 4K TV settings for ideal experience. I don't know what you mean, but all I can do is tell you an OLED TV with 4K HDMI cables on a 4K player with the TV settings dialed into the right settings. So you take off true motion and all the soap opera effects, which just ruin movies. You put it on a cinema mode, not a vivid mode. Never set your TV settings to vivid or game mode. It just looks truly atrocious when you're watching a film. And enjoy, man. Enjoy. I think I kind of answered it. I hope I did. Lucas Bernowskowitz, is Vince Gilligan the greatest TV creator ever? Yeah. I mean, I will say yes for now. Sure. I mean, I would have said, what's their faces from Game of Thrones had Game of Thrones season 8 never happened. So yeah. Is it 8 or which season was the last one? 7 or 8? I've tried to brainwash myself from it. But yeah, I would have said them at one point in time. But yeah, Vince Gilligan, I think that would be I think that's a fair argument. Lone Tiger, are there any topics or questions that make you feel uncomfortable to answer? Or you're pretty open about your views publicly? I mean, what do you want to dive into? Like political thoughts? I just don't think it's necessary. You know, if it relates to movies directly, absolutely. I just put out a tweet because I was feeling a little bit self-righteous earlier, talking about the Academy Awards and their new regulations and rules for what can win Best Picture. And there's all these different things you have to do and hoops you have to jump through. And my thing is, when you start regulating art, it's no longer art. Like you can't tell a director what he can and cannot do. I mean, to even be in the running for Best Picture, I just think that's, I don't know. Something about that doesn't set right with me. I'm all for diversity, but you can't force it into a story that originally was never going to have it. It just feels so forced. I hate that. Michael Lay, hello again, John. What did you think of Disney following John Boyega's comments with the announcement of Mandalorian 2? I don't know what Disney... I remember what he sort of said about it, but I don't know what Disney said in their response to Mandalorian 2 with his comments. I know he said that he felt sort of used to be in the new Star Wars trilogy, but I don't know what they said in response to his comments. I don't know. Colin, do a video with Chris Stuckman soon. I've tried, man. I tried. Well, I actually kind of not. We're just both busy. I mean, it's not impossible. It could happen. Sure. Lucas Bernowskowitz. I like saying your last name, Lucas. I don't know why. What do you see in Cobra Kai season 3? Quality fucking entertainment and sweeping that leg, baby. That's what I see. Give me some more Johnny. That's all I have to say. No, it looks good. I think Elizabeth Shue's character, Allie, will probably return. I could see that happening. Some more unveiling from past characters might show up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I love Cobra Kai. It's just the right amount of cheese all blended together in one show. And it was like a thing I wanted to see for years, and we finally got it. And I'm glad it's going to Netflix. I am so glad it's going to Netflix because it was on YouTube TV for a while. And I think tonally that sort of, I think being on Netflix, they can get away with more, and they'll probably have more money as well for the show. But I just feel like it can go a little bit further than it's went with YouTube TV. Beatdown. Who's the best director of all time? Spielberg, Kubrick, Hitchcock, Tommy Wiseau. Well, it's Tommy Wiseau. For me, you're saying best from... If you want to look at like the history of filmmaking, I mean, it's hard to pick between Hitchcock or Kubrick. But I mean, my personal favorite would be Spielberg because I like more of his movies than any other director you mentioned. But then The Room cancels everything else. So I'll go with Spielberg though. Walking Violence. John Knock Knock. It's a great dark comedy. I have not seen it. I will look into it. Night King 01. Master and Commander would not be nominated today. You're right. I mean, I don't think Lord of the Rings would be nominated either, would it? No. So, yeah, it's just kind of like if you make a historical film, it's sort of hard to force one of those things in there when they're not supposed to be there. So, do you rewrite history for the sake of appeasing people? I'm not quite sure. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Master and Commander probably wouldn't be nominated. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. That's not fair. So it's like we're being fair, but we're not actually being fair. So, Claudio Rogajan. Hey, Claudio. When you're saying why are these scenes happening in Tenet, are you talking about the opening? I don't even know. I don't even remember how the shit happened in the movie. No, there's some things there's things that they do in the story of Tenet to go places and do things, but it feels like it was just in there for the sake of showing a spectacle event. It's just like, I'm pretty sure you could have skipped that step, went right over it and done something else because you're not even mentioning it anymore right after you do it. Like it gets convoluted, like where they go, I don't want to spoil it, but they break into like a safe at one point. I'm like, I don't know if you really technically had to do that, but I'm cool. It was a cool scene, I guess. Andrew Chicken, thoughts on Lalo Salamanca? Oh, Lalo. Why can I not pronounce this name? Lalo Salamanca in Better Call Saul. He's one of the coolest characters in Breaking Bad universe. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I agree. Dude, Better Call Saul is so underrated. I don't understand why more people don't talk about that and watch that. I hate it. I hate all of you for not watching Better Call Saul. Season 5 was one of the best. I would almost go as far as to say season 5 of Better Call Saul almost is like on par with the best season of Breaking Bad. Like the final episode in season 5 of Better Call Saul was awesome. It was perfect. It gets all the juices flowing. Go watch Better Call Saul, guys. That's my recommendation to you. Thoughts on Enter the Dragon and Red Dawn. Red Dawn, like the original with Patrick Swayze, never one of my favorite movies. The remake was atrocious. Enter the Dragon, good Bruce Lee flick. Probably haven't watched it in 15 years. But I always remember it being like the quintessential I almost said Kung Flu movie, but Kung Fu movie. Lone Tiger. I don't know much about the Oscar requirements, but I want equal opportunity to audition for everyone, regardless of race, gender, etc. Not necessarily to force diversity, but to give consideration to everyone who's worthy and good enough. Yeah, here's what I would say in a response to that. Look at some of the best picture winners of previous years. There's tons of diversity in the winners of the best picture at the Academy Awards. Now, some years, I mean, it just depends, but look at the last 20 years. There's been a diversity of winners. So that argument, I don't understand where it's coming from. I don't know. What my thing is, why don't you pick a panel of judges that can and add diversity to that? So you have a diverse group of people deciding and dictating what the best picture of the year is. Why don't we do that? Scarly, you're a great man. I just watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape last night. Apparently Johnny Depp was pretty effed up during the filming, but his performance works. Yeah, Johnny Depp might be a better actor when he's fucked up. I don't know, but What's Eating Gilbert Grape is great. I used to do a great impression of Arnie from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I don't know if it's politically correct to still do it, though. I don't know, but I have done it many times in previous videos. Leonardo DiCaprio in that film was phenomenal. That's a great movie. I love when the floor under their mother, who's like heavily, she's very obese, the floor underneath is like caving in, and they put like supports underneath to hold it up. I love that. There's like one little detail about the movie I like. James, named a Nick Cage movie that you laugh out loud at. You're the best. Name one that I don't laugh out loud at. Okay, that would be the challenge. I can't think of a Nick Cage film that I haven't laughed at. Now I laugh at his great films. There's something about Nick Cage that just makes me so happy that I have to laugh to express myself when I watch it. So I'm trying to think of one I haven't ever laughed at, and that's hard to do. I really can't do it. But the funniest one is probably Bad Lieutenant, Protocol of New Orleans. That was the funniest Nick Cage film I've ever seen. I saw it in an art house theater with a lot of senior citizens around me, and I was just laughing hysterically for an hour and 48 minutes, however long the movie is. Like that. God, just thinking about it was hilarious. I don't think the older folks in the audience really understood the dark humor. Hector is the one with the bell, John. Not. Oh, yeah, Hector. Sorry. You're right. Yes, my apologies. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I have made a mistake. I will now go lash myself. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay. Colin. Hey, John. Wasn't 2014 an awesome year for movies? Think about it. Interstellar, Nightcrawler, The Guest, Snowpiercer, Grand Budapest Hotel. You forgot one. On there. Whiplash. My two favorite of 2014 were Whiplash and Nightcrawler. Yeah, 2014 was a great year. It really was. And then it's like they stopped making movies. 2015 had some good movies. I say that because like Fury Road was in there. I feel like Fury Road was like one of the last great action films that we got that wasn't like a superhero movie. Camo Yemi, are you Team Cobra Kai or Team Miyagi-Do? Oh, I want to be badass. I'm Team Cobra Kai. But I was Johnny's Cobra Kai. Not that new incarnation that they're teasing us that work out in the back room of the dojo at 1:00 in the morning. Yeah, definitely. I want Johnny to teach me. Something about Miyagi-Do is just too, I don't know. If it was actually Mr. Miyagi teaching me the ways by sanding the floor and like painting his fence and waxing his cars, probably I'd go that route. But I want Johnny to teach me the ways and how to sweep the leg. Obed Arzaga. Live streams mean we get to talk about The Dark Knight. One cool fact I love is that Bruce drives a Lamborghini, which Murcielago, why can't I not pronounce that? Murcielago? I've heard of the term, this Lamborghini model you're talking about. Murcielago, blah, blah, blah. Okay, which means a bat. Oh, I did not know that. Well, that is an interesting fact, and I'm glad you shared that tidbit with me. And very interesting. I remember years ago, I went to Chicago at like 1:00 in the morning randomly, and I was walking around all the filming locations that they filmed at The Dark Knight. You guys, the video's on this channel if you want to watch it. It's from like 2011 or 12, but it was just really cool. It was a good time. That was a random. I don't know why I randomly shared that with you, but it was. And then I remember driving through the lower deck tunnel system where they filmed the chase scene. That was cool. Just kind of felt like I was in the movie. I wanted to drive into a garbage truck or something. I don't know. Robin Yin, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, disrespected Bruce Lee. I guess. I mean, did it? Did it really? I mean, if you really pay close attention to that scene, maybe Brad Pitt's character was just daydreaming. Maybe it didn't actually happen. But I get it. I get it. Maybe they should have done a little bit more with Bruce Lee to really... I think they could have done more with him if you're going to showcase Bruce Lee in the movie, other than just getting super kicked by Brad Pitt into a car. But I think it was an imaginary scene. Don't take it to heart. Claudio, do you still slightly enjoy Tokyo Drift? I do too. Yes, it's a guilty pleasure movie. I like Tokyo. I would much rather watch Tokyo Drift than Fast and Furious Part 2 or Fast and Furious Part 4. I just think it's more enjoyable. I like the scenery of like Tokyo, and I like watching Little Bow Wow in the movie. I'm kidding about that part. But yeah, I like Tokyo Drift. It's fun. And that the kid who was in Tokyo Drift, whatever his name is, who was in Sling Blade, he did not go on to do much. Like there was a few movies he did after that, but like no, not much more. He already looked too old to be in Tokyo Drift. He's supposed to be like this high school kid, but he looks 28 years old. But I do like Tokyo Drift. Lone Tiger. I agree with Diverse Judge's idea. Hollywood in general needs to open up their horizons, but it's improving in my opinion. Things can always be better, but art should always have freedom for the artist. Otherwise, there's no incentive to create. Absolutely. I agree with you. You know, you got to get the predators out of Hollywood that have been lurking in the shadows for years and years. That was the biggest issue with Hollywood. That was the biggest issue. And now that those things are coming to light, I think that was the biggest issue. I really do. ADSD vids and stop motion. What's your favorite movie of 2018 and 2020? Well, 2020 is a hard one to pick and choose, man. Fuck. Favorite movie of 2020? There's not much to pick from thus far, is there? Nothing of recent, I can tell you that. Like Tenet would not be in my top 10, I promise you that. But maybe it will, because there's not a large selection of movies. Invisible Man was good. Sonic was good, but there wasn't many movies to pick from in 2020. I don't know. I couldn't give you an honest answer for 2020. Unless there was some straight to VOD movie I'm forgetting about. As for 2018, I forgot what even came out in 2018, man. Let me look it up. Movies of... God, what was... I honestly forgot the movies that came out in 2018. Oh, of course, they put all the art house movies right on the front page. Okay. Why are they showing... Why are they showing Winchester for 2018 movies? Yeah, that's a great question. I forgot of movies of 2018. The Mule was instantly forgettable. You can't buy time. What else came out in 2018? Mission Impossible Fallout. That would probably be in my top 10 of 2018. Really enjoyed that. Leave No Trace. Oh, I would... Infinity War would probably be in my top... That might be my favorite movie of 2018, honestly. And I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say, oh, it's a comic book movie, John. No, it was a great movie. It made me feel something, and the bad guy won. I liked it. God, why is every time someone decides to make a top 20 movies of the year, they put every art house film on there that you're never going to rewatch? God. Pretentious people, I swear. Probably Infinity War if I had to pick... Oh, the... Yes, I forgot this exists. Quiet Place was another one. I always feel like that came out in 2017, but that was 2018 as well. I completely forgot. Yeah, Quiet Place was probably my favorite movie of 2018. Dylan Peter, hey John, top 5 movies to watch on Netflix right now. I hate you for that question. That's too hard. But if I had to tell you, go watch Red Dragon, Back to the Future Part 2, Menace to Society, Sin City, and then whatever you want to for number 5. There's a lot of great movies on there. Oh, Nightcrawler. Go watch Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is playing on Netflix right now. I actually did just watch that last night again too. I watch it once a month. You put Nightcrawler in front of me, I'll probably drop what I'm doing and watch it. Jordan, what's the most depressing movie you've ever seen? Oh man, Schindler's List is pretty fucking depressing. Any movie about the Holocaust is fairly depressing, I would say. Like The Pianist is pretty depressing. I'll just go with either one of those movies. I think either one could be contender for most depressing movie. Claudio, did you not like Tenet? I thought it was okay. Yeah, like I've said throughout the chat, I was let down by it. And just okay is not enough. When it comes to a Nolan film, there was things that I felt he could have tweaked and changed to make it a much more enjoyable viewing experience. But you couldn't hear the fucking movie. You couldn't hear it. Like he made some odd creative choice to suppress the dialogue audio deep down so far under the score that it just didn't make any sense to me. And I remember when the Dark Knight Rises prologue came out, where you have Tom Hardy as Bane crashing the plane. I remember when that first prologue came out, people complained about the audio. They're like, we can't hear Bane. We don't understand what he's saying. The score is too loud. And Warner Brothers, they'll deny they did this. They'll deny it, and no one's ever admitted. But by the time the actual theatrical release of The Dark Knight Rises did come out, Bane's voice was much more loud, more vocal, more clear than it was in that original prologue release for the IMAX sneak peek. So they did tweak that. And I don't care what anyone says. They listened to people's complaints and they went back in and tweaked Bane's voice. But it was like this time around, Nolan got full creative control and he just went crazy with it. And he's like, I'm going back to what I originally wanted to do. I don't want you to hear people talking. So that was my biggest complaint with Tenet. And when you can't hear the dialogue in a movie, if the artistic choice makes sense in the film, I guess, but for me, it didn't. I found it highly frustrating. It was a movie that you needed to watch subtitles, but you shouldn't have to watch it with subtitles. Colin, what movie did you see on 4K on your TV and go, wow? I think the first movie I watched I remember this, and I'll tell you right now. I remember buying my 4K TV, my 4K player. I was at Best Buy, and the same day I bought those things, I went and bought Mad Max Fury Road on 4K. It was the first movie I watched on 4K, and I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. So I think that was the first one. Yeah, I think that was the first one. Rod, Thunderheart. Ooh, you sound like a 1980s rock star, man. John, did you like The Adjustment Bureau? Maybe. Why can I not remember what The Adjustment Bureau is? I know I've seen this. I watched this movie. But I watched this. And I remember nothing about it. I know I saw this. No, I don't think I did like this movie. I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think. But then again, I don't remember much about it. But I do remember watching it, like on Redbox. Uh, Max Neugbauer, do you know why Chris Stuckman hasn't reviewed Predators yet? He said he will. He said he will when he reviewed Predator 2, but still hasn't done it yet. No fucking clue, man. Could not tell you. I don't know. I don't know. He'll probably get around to it. I feel like he already has, though. It's odd that he hasn't. Lone Tiger. So did the podcast with you and Odin, then Patreon Q&A, then this live stream all today? Whoa, you must really love us, John. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. No, we're doing the podcast tomorrow. We didn't have time today, but I did do the Patreon Q&A right before doing this. And then I was in the mood to talk. And then I was like, I want you guys to look at me when I do it. So now we're here now. So thank you. So yeah, we're gonna do the podcast tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, man. I love doing the Patreon podcast. It's always a blast. And these are a blast too, I'll be honest. I missed you guys for the last couple weeks not doing this. Joseph Jackson, best scene in Batman v Superman besides the warehouse sequence. Damn you, that is the best scene, and you took it away. Now I got to think of another one. In Batman v Superman, the best scene besides the warehouse Batman fight, is there another good scene? That is the question. I'm sure it involves Batman. I was going to say the Batman-Superman fight, but even that, when you rewatch it over and over again, you think that I feel like they could have done a bit more with it. Like, it just kind of felt very sandbagged, in my opinion. Like the part where Batman picks up the sink and hits Superman, I'm like, you planned this out. You're a strategist. And the best thing you could think of in that situation that you had ready to go was hit him over the head with a porcelain sink that's just going to break. Like, your fist would have done more damage. I don't know. As far as the best scene, I'm honestly trying to dig in my brain to think of the best scene in Batman v Superman right now. I like the one scene where, okay, here's the one. I like the scene where they're fighting. I like the scene where Superman takes the kryptonite, the kryptonite spear, and jams it through Doomsday. Yeah, I like that. I like that scene. I like the music that plays during that scene. Yeah, I'll go with that. Night King 01. Tell me what they said on the speedboat. You can't. I can't tell you the shit they said 90% of the movie. I don't know. I don't know what they said. And I don't know if Nolan was trying to say, you know what? I'm going to be a visual storyteller, and some of the things they're saying doesn't quite matter. But then again, I don't buy into that, because there's other scenes where they talk for 15 minutes with expositional dialogue trying to explain the plot to the movie. So that makes no sense. I don't know. I want to know why he did that. Why doesn't someone ask the guy why he did that? I know why, because they're afraid. Everyone's afraid now. Jay Donovan, Steele. Watch 12 Monkeys TV show. Gritty, you'll love it. Maybe I will. I need to go back and watch 12 Monkeys, the actual movie. I have not rewatched that since like the 1990s. I want to go back and watch it again. Cameo Yimmy, favorite Avatar, Aang or Korra? Probably Aang, man. Yeah, I'd probably go with Aang on that. But I watched Avatar. I watched like 3 episodes of Avatar over at my friend's house, who was like, you got to watch it, man. You got to watch it. Best anime show ever. And I'm like, have you seen the Batman animated series? I would disagree with you. So yeah, Aang, I think, would probably be my favorite character. Colin. Hey, John, will we pester you about Stuckman for the rest of your life? Ridley Scott is filming his new movie in Ireland, and I signed up to be in it. Ooh, yeah, that sounds cool, man. I mean, you get probably, it's fine. I don't have any new information to give you guys. I'm sorry. If you guys want to know something, just tweet the goddamn guy. What is the movie he's filming in Ireland? What's the next Ridley Scott movie? I know the guy wants to make another Aliens movie or some shit, but what's the next one he's directing? I know he was going to direct The Duel, or he already did it, or is it in production? I don't know. Age of the Keyboard Warrior. Saw New Mutants. Theater looked empty and sad. Popcorn gave me diarrhea. How was your popcorn? Popcorn does that, and I'll tell you why. Popcorn is like a scratchy substance that when you digest it and it goes into your intestines, it scrapes all of your intestines clean. And that's why it does it. Also, it's the butter in the popcorn. If you go to the theater, try not to get butter. That shit is liquid diarrhea medication or something. It's just like chemically made to make you shit. So, and as a guy who worked at a movie theater, I'm telling you right now, that's what it does. It's like a natural laxative or something. As far as the movie theater goes, yeah, New Mutants there's probably 20 people when I went to see New Mutants. Forbidden Fruit 73. I always liked the Karate Kid Part 2 the best. The Okinawa setting just made it more interesting. Yeah, they did what they had to. I like that they switched up the setting, but I personally liked this. I kind of liked like 1980s Los Angeles for the setting of the first movie. I thought that was interesting to me. But when they did like the Karate Kid reboot, they actually went overseas and shot that with Jaden Smith. But the setting was good, and Jackie Chan was good too. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Joseph Jackson. What about the jar of piss in the courtroom scene in Batman v Superman? Oh, Granny's peach tea? Yeah, who could forget that? Speaking of Granny's peach tea, I need to drink a little bit right now. Scarly. I kind of wish Batman would wear a dark blue cowl with gray. I'm tired of all the movie Batmans wearing black. They can make it more menacing than the Adam West one, of course, where he wears his underwear on the outside of his suit. Yeah, sure. I get what you're saying. I think like a dark blue, gray Batman suit would be kind of cool, but it's hard to translate that well to screen. It really is. You know, the gray suit with the black accents, that works for me. I like that. Originally, I believe in one of the Joel Schumacher films, they were going to do the blue and gray Batman suit incarnation, but for some reason or another, it fell through or it didn't look right on screen. I don't remember the exact reason, but I do remember they were going to do that in one of the 90s Batman movies. But it kind of works best almost in the comic books and animated series. Scarly. I kind of wish Batman would wear I just answered that. Okay. Robin Yin. Have you seen Ruby Sparks with Paul Dano? Great rom-com. I have not, but I love me some Paul Dano. So, who's going to play the Riddler? Yes, please. Blind Eye. Azim the Dream Reviews. Has there ever been a point where you focused on one franchise on your channel? I can vaguely remember you did lots of vids on The Dark Knight Rises, kind of what I'm going through. My movie reviewing channel at the moment is mostly focused on Jurassic World, Dominion, News, and Cobra Kai Season 3. Sure, yeah, whenever a new Batman movie comes out, I think it's the most topical, popular thing that I'm interested in at the time, so I am genuinely curious about the movie and talking about it, and I'm not gonna lie, it does good for views, so it's like a win-win either way. So that was, yeah, I did focus on that a lot, and that's cool, man. You don't need to talk about everything. I mean, talk about what you're interested in. Never force it. I mean, there's a great demographic of people who will watch nothing but Jurassic World YouTube channels, or there's a Cobra Kai channel where this guy just speculates on shit that will happen in Cobra Kai. And his videos all do great. It's just speculative shit about Cobra Kai. And I'm like, how are this many people, like, how do that many people care that much? Like, it blew me away when I saw it, but anything's possible on YouTube. Lone Tiger, I've been listening to the Dark All Day by Gunship on repeat because of you. Awesome song, a music video. Maybe we'll all bound to become zombies one day. Oh, I love that song. That is, oh God, if you haven't listened to it, it's a band called Gunship, song called Dark All Day, and it's on YouTube. Watch the video. It's almost intoxicating. It's everything you want. But I'm glad you found it, man. Colin, the last Duel filming was canceled due to COVID. Damn it. See that? Really? Okay. Yeah, it's set in France, so man. Okay. Well, that sucks. I was really interested in that movie. Jordan, do you think Tenet will get better upon rewatch? I might see it again tomorrow because I love the spectacle and missed theater so much. For me, probably not. I honestly do not want to go back and rewatch Tenet. It would be a chore to rewatch the movie. There's many films where the first time I watch it, I don't know what to think about it, but I know I need to go back and watch it again. Tenet was one of those films where I watched it and I don't want to see it again. I really don't. I don't. It's not worth it. And maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I expected too much. Or maybe I just wanted to hear the dialogue from the actors in the film. In all fairness, I feel like you could, if you made the same creative choices Nolan made on Tenet with any other great film, just pick a great film. Like, we'll pick, I don't know, The Empire Strikes Back or something, right? If you would have muted the dialogue so low that you couldn't hear it, would that not have ruined the film just ever so slightly for you, no matter how great of a movie it is? All right, let's keep going here. Claudio, some of the editing in Tenet was kind of bad. Yeah, here's what I say. Nolan really went... He took his style that he's put in previous movies and it got really indulgent to the point where he almost took some of the tropes that he does in other films, but he overutilized them in Tenet. And like some of the quick cuts, just little things about it seemed like jarring at times. And sometimes that works, but when you watch an entire movie, it just felt like he got to do all of his favorite little things and combine them into a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. And he needed some restraint. But then I'm criticizing Christopher Nolan. Who the hell am I? I just but those are just some of my thoughts on the movie. Ches Giles, Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead? Hot Fuzz. Honestly, I love Hot Fuzz because, well, it references one of my favorite action movies of all time, Point Break. Mustache Reviews. If it was Keaton and Reeves in Batman v Superman, who wins? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I don't know. If they play some Prince music and Batman, I don't know. Superman should always win that fight, but I'm still gonna go with Keaton. Forbidden Fruit 73. Have you seen Adventureland? Yes, I have. It's okay. I don't really love the movie, but it's okay. Joshua Garrison. Favorite Stanley Kubrick film? Probably Full Metal Jacket. And even then, I still love the first act the most of the film. There's a lot of movies where I love the first act the most of the movie. And then it sort of gets into the second or third act. I'm like, I don't love this as much. There's a lot of movies that do that. It's a weird phenomenon I always find in movies. I sort of always enjoy the setup, but sometimes when it starts getting into the actual story, I'm like, this didn't go the direction I wanted it to go. I'm not ready yet. I wanted more meaningless things happening in the movie before we dive into it. And I think that's why I like Nolan films, or I like movies like Kevin Smith movies, is because it feels like the first act continues throughout the entire movie. And then you know what I mean? Not everything leads to something immediately. I kind of like that. Someone said Adventureland is fun. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I saw it a few times, and it's not one of those movies I want to watch again. Beach Bum 0331. What movie trilogy would you want to be remade, and you gotta pick one? Probably the newest rendition of the Star Wars films. How's that? How's that for you? We'll go with that. So, yeah, 7, 8, and 9. Episodes 7, 8, and 9. We'll just remake that shit. We'll do it right. And, yeah, there's my pick. Azim the Dream Reviews. I've been noticing a pattern with movie trilogies. The first two are either great and the third one is at least good, or the first two are not great and the third one is good. That makes me believe that Jurassic World Dominion will be better than the first two Jurassic Worlds. Can you think of any? Can I think of any off the top of my head? I don't know. I think maybe Lord of the Rings. I always thought the third one was probably overall the most entertaining. But as far as Jurassic World goes, I don't think it would be hard to top the first two incarnations. I really don't. Like, you just have to make a competent film that isn't color graded with blue, where everything doesn't look blue and digital, and everyone has no charisma. So yeah, I think Dominion could possibly be the best easily. I mean, the premise alone sounds the best. So another one. You're saying a trilogy that got better by the third movie? That typically never happens. I mean, a lot of movies always get... The third one's always the weakest, like the Dark Knight trilogy, the Back to the Future trilogy. I'm trying to think of where the third movie was the best. Even the John Wick by the third movie, I did not like John Wick 3 that much. Why can I not read your name? Dazerna21? Make it OnlyFans. I have that. It's called Patreon, man. Check it out. All kinds of crazy, visceral content on there. All right. Come on, questions. Update. Gideon. Do you get unlimited family video rentals? No, I do not. But the prices of family video are so good, you don't need them. It only costs like $1 to rent shit at family video. I mean, you get to keep it forever. So, or if you don't want to buy shit at family video, or if you don't want to rent shit, you go buy it. I went to the family video down the road, and they had like some 4K Blu-ray movies for like $5, like good titles. And I was like, this is okay. Like, just go buy the movies there. So no, I don't. But maybe if I asked Family Video, they might hook me up. I don't know. I want to make another video going back to Family Video. I like it. It's my happy place. Lone Tiger. When do you think we should just say F it and move on from this pandemic? COVID is here to stay long term, I think. So we have to find a way to live our lives. If you have any precautions when traveling, too bad we are our own worst country. You just wear a little paper. You just wear this fucking thing here. You just put this on. If you don't have a pre-existing medical condition, you'll probably be okay. Or you can just stay inside, and that's your choice. For me, I will just put this piece of paper on, and if everyone else does the same thing, the odds are you'll be just fine. And yeah, as far as taking any precautions, I wear this, and I use a lot of hand sanitizer. You know, the thing is, just don't let anyone sneeze in your face, and don't go don't go to a public restroom and lick the toilet seat. You'll probably be okay. But it is interesting. I am curious to see by next year if, not to get too technical, but I am genuinely interested if flu cases will go down as well with the precautions of wearing a mask. I am curious if the flu will decrease as well. And if it doesn't, that's weird, but it should. So, Yeah, I don't mind wearing this. Like, I don't like wearing it myself, but I like other people wearing it because I already thought there were too many mouth breathers in society as it is. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You go to a public place and someone's like spit talking or they sneeze and they don't cover their mouth. So in a way, I sort of like this as long as everything's open back up and you can go do whatever you want to. And this is like part of it. Hey, it works for me. Gibson. I already answered that. I'm so sorry. Cam O. Yimmy. Which chase scene is your favorite? A. Henry Cavill escaping Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible Fallout. Dash. Finding out he can run over water in The Incredibles. Probably not the Dash scene. Favorite chase scene? The Tom Cruise one is pretty phenomenal in Fallout. I mean, the one when you have that tracking shot of Tom Cruise running on the rooftop and he jumps over and he actually really broke his ankle when he did the jump. That gave me goosebumps when I watched that scene. But other than that, favorite chase scene? I'm going to go with Point Break. It's a chase scene between Johnny Utah and Bodhi. It's a foot chase sequence. What starts out in the car, then it goes to a foot chase sequence. Then at one point, Patrick Swayze throws a dog at Johnny Utah. Did you hear what I just said? He throws a dog at him. Do I need to give you more reasons? But that's a great chase sequence. I so underrated, and it's shot with handy cams, so it looks great. Not handy cams, but you guys know what I'm saying. Steady cams. It's shot with steady cams. Colin, recommend my review channel, Infinity Reviews. Hey, everyone, go check out Colin's YouTube channel, Infinity Reviews. There you go, Colin. Carlos Fontes, you're lounging at home and you're bored. What are you watching, Resident Evil or Silent Hill? Probably watching neither, because I like to watch good movies when I'm at home. But if I had to pick either of those movies, I would say Silent Hill is probably the better of two. I didn't like the Resident Evil movies. Something about the way he directed them to look sort of like cheap, poor man's Matrix Neo movies, where Mila Jovovich is jumping all around doing flips, and it just didn't have the same tone or atmosphere of the games. Probably Silent Hill. Silent Hill's sort of an underrated video game movie. I thought it was fairly well done for what it should have been. Colin, Interstellar better than Tenet? I would probably rather watch Interstellar than Tenet. And I don't even love Interstellar. I really don't. I don't. I like a lot of things about it, but I don't love Interstellar. I think the most comparable thing to Tenet is Inception. I really do. I think tonally, that's the most comparable Nolan film. Night King 01, recommendation, Police Story, 123, Shanghai Express. I've seen Police Story. I'm pretty sure I've seen Police Story 1. What is the one with Jackie Chan running down the windows of the skyscraper? Which Jackie Chan movie is that? I don't remember. Let me know. J. Donovan Steele, Ryan the Animator, spamming chat. Can you block? Sorry. I can't even keep up with the chat. What's he spamming here? Let's see. Ryan the Animator? Don't spam the chat, man. Come on. Don't spam the chat. Be a cool cat or a cool kitten, whatever you want to be. Anonymous has become a YouTube member. Yay! Thank you for joining as a YouTube member, man. Oh, Ricardo Franco. Hey, man. How's it going? Thanks for the super chat here. How's it going, John? How's Ohio? I saw Mulan, and I think it may have not only been the worst Disney remake, but the worst Disney movie, period. I love the original. I watched Mulan the other day, and my friend illegally downloaded it. I didn't. He did. Okay? So, listen, Disney, if you want to come after someone, don't come after me. I didn't do it. But thank God I didn't pay $30 for that abomination pile of shit. That was the most clunky, odd, bizarre expensive movie but looked bad at the same time, where Mulan had like superpowers, like she was Captain America and Neo from the Matrix. And then the first act of Mulan was okay. I was like, okay, this is fine. But they introduced, and I don't remember the Mulan animated movie. It's one that I don't watch often, and I probably have not seen it since 1999. Was there a sorcerer or witch character in that animated movie? Because I don't recall was there one? Because the one that they put in the live action movie, every time she was on screen, I wanted to hit myself in the head with a hammer and stick a sharp object in both eyes. Oh man, what a clunky movie. And like there's a few battle sequences in Mulan where you could have like a really cool battle sequence, because that time period in China was really fascinating, but they make it the most Hollywoodized, modernized movie they possibly could. And it's so on the nose and delivered to, like, I feel like there's more subtleties in the classic children's animated movie than there was in the live action movie. Now, the actress they had play Mulan, I thought she was good. I thought they cast Mulan well. It's just some of like the scenes and the villains in the movie, it was so disinteresting and it was hard to get through. Like, I could only imagine being a little kid watching that live action movie and just being bored. Like, it wasn't fascinating. So, and I still stand by this. When it comes to live action Disney movies, as of right now, I think Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book was probably the best one yet. And that was the first one in this lineup of meaningless live action movies. But thanks for the question. All right. Wow, we got you guys are killing it with the questions. Okay, I'm going to try to answer as many as I can right now. All right. And once again, you guys are too kind. You guys are too nice. I mean, I do appreciate it, guys. The super chats do help. So thank you. Oh, and by the way, Ricardo, as far as Ohio goes, as I got off my tangent about fucking Mulan, Ohio's pretty good. Everything's going good. Yeah, I like it. I like it so far. Winter will suck, but as of right now, everything's going pretty good. Looking forward to fall. Javier. It's grown to be more than a trilogy, but I would say Mission Impossible 3 is the best of the first three movies in the series. I get how you could say 3 is good. I just think 3 is forgettable. Like, other than Dustin or Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'm gonna hurt her bad. Other than his performance as the villain in that movie, I just forgot everything about Mission Impossible 3. I think the first one has a special place because I remember like renting it from Blockbuster. But 2 is easily the worst. Okay. Jacob Hubbard. Hey, Jacob, how's it going, man? Hey, John. Jacob from South Carolina. I personally like Tenet for what it was. Anyways, just wanted to say thank you so much for what you have done for me and my reviews. Well, yeah, Jacob has a review channel, and we used to live in the same town, and I ran into Jacob one time at Walmart at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I lived in South Carolina. But yeah, man, I'm glad you like Tenet. I tried. I just couldn't. Scarly, the blue cowl and cape for Batman was going to be in Tim Burton's Batman 3. I'm pretty sure there are pictures of it online and they look great considering the movie was mid-90s. That's right. Okay, that makes sense. I do remember that. So, yeah, thank you for the factoid there. I much rather would have seen a Tim Burton Batman 3 than Joel Schumacher's Abominations. Azine the Dream Reviews. How would you describe the Lifetime channel, also AMC versus Amstar Theaters? The Lifetime channel is something that my grandmother would watch if she wasn't dead. I don't know. There's been a few Lifetime movies I remember watching, but they're all made to. They're cheap movies made to be emotional. Cheap emotional movies. I don't know. I don't know, man. But I am guilty of watching a few Lifetime movies. There's been a few good ones over the years, but they're just like cheap movies of the week with like some kind of emotional punch that hits you on the nose. AMC versus Amstar theaters. I don't think I've been to an Amstar theater. Maybe I have, but I've always preferred AMC movie theaters or Cinemark theaters. Cinemark theaters typically never let me down. But I will say, the best thing about Tenet was watching it at the AMC Dolby Digital theater, where the sound was so phenomenal that my seat would rattle. That was nice, but I just wish I could have heard what the hell they were saying in the movie. Ricardo Franco. I already answered this. Sorry, Ricardo, but thank you once again, Ricardo. And Nani Moose has become a member. Yay! Thank you. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Dylan Peter, thoughts on 310 to Yuma? I like it. I like 310 to Yuma. I like Ben Foster. He's such an underrated actor. He always just plays a completely off the, like, he plays like an unhinged character in every movie. Like his character in 310 to Yuma, and also his character in the what was the bank robbery movie with Chris Pine? I forget what it's called. Anyway, he sort of plays the exact same character, right? But yeah, I like 310 to Yuma. It was the first Blu-ray I ever watched that sold me on buying a Blu-ray player. Chess Giles. Those DVDs are depressing to look at. Are you close to selling them? Yeah, all the DVDs. You know, I went. I have a long lost video I should probably get off my ass and edit. So I went to sell all my DVDs one day at a used media store, and they offered me like $50. And I was like, I can't let these go for $50. No way, man. So I'll just keep them back here as props and relics of the past. And I like them. Sometimes touching these low resolution things make me feel better. And by the way, License to Drive. Do I own this on Blu-ray? I don't think I do. Zach Reach or Wretch. Getting hyped, watching Roadhouse right now. Roadhouse or Commando? I've always been more of a Roadhouse guy. I'm all about the Swayze. The name's Dalton. Thought you'd be a lot bigger. Pain Don't Hurt. Roadhouse is phenomenal. Probably I can rewatch Roadhouse over and over. I like Commando, but I don't rewatch it over and over. Like when it comes to Arnold, I'd probably rather watch Predator. Azim the Dream Reviews. Some people dedicate their channel to only one franchise. Did I answer this already? I sort of already answered this question, Azim the Dream Reviews, but I will do it again. Some people dedicate their channel to only one franchise, like you said. Also, some people review every single movie out there, like Steckman. I don't really know where I am with mine. What about you, John? You mentioned you're very selective. Yeah, I don't want to review every movie for the sake of reviewing it. I will try to review the bigger movies I'm interested in. If I don't give a shit about a movie, I'm not going to watch it just for the sake of reviewing it. Like if I have to tell myself the only reason I'm watching that movie is because I'm going to review it, I don't want to do it. That's forced. I can't do that. That takes away all the fun of the movie to me. So now it becomes like obligatory, and I can't do that. So yeah, I get selective as well. Dan5271, Jackie movie I think you're talking about is called Who Am I? Yes, Who Am I? That's the other one. Yes. Can we just talk about Rumble in the Bronx? Camo Yimmy, Jackie Chan runs down a skyscraper's Who Am I? Yeah, you're right. Yes. Thank you guys for reminding me. Thank you. That's a good movie. I want to watch it again. Claudio. I found the original Bane voice on YouTube. Do you mind playing it? Just search it up. It wouldn't let me paste the link here. It has 1 million views. Yeah, I'm not going to play it. I'll get some kind of bullshit copyright strike. You guys can do it. I've heard it many times, and I've compared both, and it definitely was altered by the time it came out to the theatrical version. Ricardo Franco, the Hawk Lady which was the worst part of the whole thing, and the arrow kick at the end. My God, I agree though. Every shot looked like it cost millions, yet it looked like a Lifetime movie. Absolutely. What was it with them? Like at the end of the movie, the climax, they're fighting in what at the time was probably the most populated city on the planet in China, and there's no one on the streets. There's no one around. There's like 25 soldiers and 10 bad guys. Like, where was the big climactic battle? What happened there? And there's some bizarre scenes. Like, there's one scene, and this doesn't spoil anything, and if it does, who gives a shit, because it's just Mulan. But there's one scene where an avalanche happens, and Mulan saves somebody in the avalanche, but it looked like 1995 CGI. Like, it looked like the person was like in water, not snow. It was just really oddly put together. I don't know. It felt so clunky. The movie just felt like there was no organic transition to anything. All right. Rock Lee, have you seen Cobra Kai? If yes, did you like it? I've answered that probably 198 times, but yes, I have seen Cobra Kai season 1 and 2. Can't wait for season 3. My body is ready. I'm so glad Netflix picked it up, because they didn't even know if they're going to have a season 3 of Cobra Kai until Netflix came along. So yeah, I love Cobra Kai, man. I love Johnny from Karate Kid. He's always been one of my favorite sort of underrated characters of all time, and I love it. Lone Tiger. What movies in this era that have gotten mixed or average reviews do you think will be considered great movies in the future? I realize most classic films didn't get good reception initially. Example, 2001, Empire Strikes Back, The Shining, etc., etc. There's a long list of films that have gotten mediocre reviews when they first come out, and it takes years for people to pick up and love them and like the movies, and then they go on to be more. But some films that have gotten mediocre reviews when they first came out. This kind of relates to your question. I remember Roger Ebert did not like Kick-Ass because it depicted violence from a little girl. And it kind of made me think that he missed the point of the movie. I don't know if that relates. Actually, did Kick-Ass get pretty bad reviews? I thought that got mediocre reviews when it came out. Also, Man of Steel. That was one that sort of got mixed or bad reviews. And I look back on that and I think that's better than 90% of the superhero movies that we get nowadays. Like, what did you expect? What did you want from that movie? So that's one I always didn't quite comprehend. Sometimes I go to like Rotten Tomatoes, for example, and I don't comprehend what's happening. Like if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you look at the reviews for Mulan from critics, and then you look at audience reception to the movie, it's just like, you can just tell the people that gave it a positive grade didn't really want to. They're like, yeah, it was a spectacle. What else was it? Like, it's not a good movie. It was a spectacle of a mediocre movie that no one will remember tomorrow. All right. Beach Bum 0331. Shia LaBeouf as Batman, your thoughts? Someone asked that question last week, and it was probably you, and I don't know why you do this. No, I don't want to see a fidgety little Batman running around on screen with shitty tattoos. By the way, I was meaning to watch his, what was it called? The Accountant or the Tax something, the Shia LaBeouf movie directed by David Ayer that no one said was good. I keep meaning to watch that, but I always forget it exists. Yeah. Patrick John, I don't want to stop the flow of the stream, but could you dive deep into that stack of 4Ks? I saw The Goonies was one, a movie that I actually think is overrated. Yeah, I need to go. The thing about The Goonies, the thing I liked most about it was the 80s vibe, the fun factor. If you have any kid movie with Corey Feldman in it, for some reason I'm drawn to it. Is that weird? Yes, it is, but I'll admit it. Yeah, The Goonies was never one of my top 10 favorite movies ever or anything like that. it was sort of just like, there's just something so pure about it and so 80s about it. Now it's on 4K. I need to go watch it again on 4K. I've heard mixed things about the 4K. I've heard it's good but not great. But I need to go watch it. I might be talking about this a little bit more in the future as part of something I'm working on. So yeah, I need to go back. But the way it looks though, the artwork, check that out, man. That's a sexy looking Blu-ray cover on there. It's a nice 4K cover on there. So booby traps, love it. Jordan, have you seen Eraserhead? What the hell is wrong with David Lynch? There's a ton of David Lynch films I have not seen. I'm not the hugest David Lynch fan. I know some people are. For me, it's just I know people love the guy and think he's like he's the best director of all time. For me, I've seen a few of his movies and I'm just like, that was okay. I don't ever want to see it again. I sound so dismissive towards David Lynch. Like, who? Look at me sitting on my pedestal. Some fucking guy in a room talking about some of the best directors ever. All right. Dave Orange. Are you going to do a stream with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers? I was on his stream a few months ago. So I did one. I wouldn't mind doing one again. He's a nice guy. Chess Giles became a member. So once again, thank you, Chess Giles, for becoming a member. Austin Rash. Hey, John, how was your day? And what is your favorite Denis Villeneuve film? I always mispronounce his name. I don't care. Probably Sicario. I would say Sicario is my favorite film of his, but I can't wait to see Dune, baby. Azim the Dream Reviews. What do you think? Okay. Where do you think you can rank Jurassic World Dominion based on the premise alone, plus every updated news we've been getting in regards to the sets, original cast, practical effects, the short film battle at Big Rock hinted at? Also, never really gave me a ranking of the Jurassic Park films. Azim the Dream Reviews, you love Jurassic Park, man. Every question relates to Jurassic Park. I know you love it. I'm looking forward to it. I like the premise. I think the best thing going into the last film is I like how dinosaurs sort of take over the planet. I'm sure it ends with dinosaurs truly taking over the planet and humans sort of are the minority. And that just opens it up to future installments. I guess there's a TV show coming, which would make sense as a spinoff for that premise. But as far as the original cast coming back, yes, please. Yes, please. Because the thing about the original Jurassic Park and the cast, or even older movies in general, they used to have charismatic actors. Like they had actors who could do only what that actor did. Someone like Jeff Goldblum can only do what Jeff Goldblum does. Nowadays, it seems like in the majority of films, they just kind of plug in some generic guy who could be replaced with any other generic guy in Hollywood. I don't know why I think of Jai Courtney when I think of like generic action guy. But yeah, as far as the original cast coming back, oh God, I need it so bad. I can't wait. That's what gets me most excited. So as far as ranking the Jurassic Park films, clearly the first one is the best. The other ones just sort of happened. I mean, Jurassic Park 2 was okay. It's enjoyable and entertaining, but it just doesn't compare to the first. 3 felt very cheap to me, and directed by is it Joe Johnston? Joe Johnston, right? And that it's something about it just felt so cheap. Like that was where it sort of lost its artistic flair. I mean, of course, when you go to Spielberg to another director, it's not gonna have the same. It's not gonna be comparable. But really, and when it comes to the newest ones, I don't even want to talk about them. I really don't. It's the first one or nothing for me. Dan5271, any prints or special editions in your collection, DVDs, Blu-rays, that are worth more than when you bought them? At one time, some of them were, but then they got remass produced. Like I remember Coneheads was out of print. Drop Dead Fred was out of print. License to Drive, like I showed a few minutes ago, was out of print, but then they reproduced or they manufactured more, so the value went down. I might have a few that I'm unaware of that I have to look into, but I remember specifically those movies at one time. Connor, and I'm trying to think. I want to give you a better answer than that, but I cannot. I don't know. I don't know if I have any ultra rare copies of anything. I might, I have the Aladdin, maybe the Aladdin. I have a Zavi Aladdin Steelbook, which could be considered. Let me look it up. Yeah, I have the animated Aladdin Steelbook that came out years ago, and I can't even find it anywhere right now because I'm stupid. Let me see. Let me see. No, this is the crappy 2019 version. Here it is. Here it is. Hang on. Let's see if it still exists. I think you can. No, it costs like $20. You can buy it right now. So I lied. So I guess not. Not off the top of my head, I don't. Connor Baker. When are we getting a Tenet review? I had been meaning to make it for the last 4 days. So maybe tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Maybe tomorrow. I have nothing I have to do tomorrow, so probably tomorrow. I wanted to. I was trying to get my studio together, and I'm going to redo some of the backdrop stuff back here, and I'm actually going to start doing reviews on like a couch, like a red couch. For some odd reason, that just sounds more relaxing. I want to be more comfortable when I talk about movies. So yeah, maybe tomorrow. Night King 01. Just rewatched Rumble in the Bronx. The dubbing is hilarious, and the plot doesn't even exist until halfway. Also, they stuffed a guy into a wood chipper. Hell yeah, they did, and that's why it's a phenomenal movie. I remember seeing Rumble in the Bronx as a kid. And originally, the movie was made in 92, 93, and it didn't come out in U.S. theaters until 95. And the dubbing is atrocious in that movie. It's like, hey, D'Angelo, what are you doing? But it's great. It adds to the character of the movie. Landon Lee. Our action nowadays getting worse. What's going on? It depends on the movie. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's terrible. It really depends. I miss the oomph the action scenes used to have. It's just something about action scenes nowadays. It just feels so overproduced in a way. It's like they don't make an iconic sequence. Not always, but like Mission Impossible Fallout. Okay, they had some great action scenes that I remembered that I liked, and that was one example of how you do it well. That's what we're missing nowadays in action. It almost seems like sometimes action scenes are like obligatory in movies anymore. They're like, yeah, we'll do it, but we'll kind of do it, but we don't really care. But no one's really going to care because no one's going to talk about this movie in 2 days. So I don't know. It seems like people don't care as much. But yeah, generally speaking, I mean, give me a few examples of some terrible action scenes that you hate. Scar Lee, thanks for being so personable. I've been meaning to donate for a while, but I usually work at these hours. I've got vacation this week. Also, Ben Foster lived in my town, Fairfield, Iowa, in the 90s when he went to Mararishi School. Mararishi? Well, thanks, Scarlett. Much appreciated. And I'm glad you got some vacation time. Well, very cool. And thanks for watching. And I try to be personable. That's what YouTube's all about. That's what's lacking. That's why I like to do the live streams. It really is. It's like we get to interact and talk about shit. And that's what I like about them. Detroit Rock City is out of print. I have Detroit Rock City. Okay. But the unfortunate thing is I need to buy it on Blu-ray because my DVD skips. It has some scratches in it. Do you like Huey Lewis and the News? Sort of, kind of. Joshua Garrison, who's a YouTube member, have you heard about the real life Willy Wonka Jelly Belly founder giving away candy factory? I did not hear about that. Interesting. I wish he would have put out golden tickets and you could win. Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve. Okay. I can't even do it when you break it down like that. That's how you pronounce it. Okay. I'll instantly forget that, but thank you, Anthony. Joshua, have you seen the Patrick Bateman Funko Pop? Have you ever collected them? Not a big fan of collecting Funko Pops, but I do have a... someone sent me a Patrick Bateman... Not a Funko Pop, but it was like a vinyl little character. I used to have. It's in a box somewhere. I do have it though. It's when he's wearing his raincoat. Hey, Paul. Anthony Moose, Man of Steel was pure cacophony. Gave me a headache. The dialogue was really amateurish. They seemed to mean something so deep and provocative, but in reality, it sounds like a Tumblr post from a 14-year-old. That's one way to look at it. I still like Man of Steel. I don't care what anyone says. All right, let me take a drink of this. All right, guys, we've been talking for like almost 2 hours. No, 2 hours. So if you have any questions, get them in right now for like the next 1 minute. If you have a question, get it in right now, and I'll answer all of those questions you get in. All right, let's answer some more here. Azim the Dream Reviews. I understand how you feel about the new Jurassic World movies, but I gotta be honest, if Owen Grady, played by Chris Pratt, wasn't in Jurassic World Dominion, I don't think it'd be nearly as excited because you have the astronomer, Alan, researched raptors, meets astronaut, Owen, raptor trainer. I kind of understand what you're saying. I get his character's okay. I get it. I get why you like it. But I just don't care about his character. Like if his head was eaten by a T-Rex, I feel like the story would just go on. But I get why you like him. He's okay. I'll tell you who I hate in the Jurassic Park franchise right now, and especially it's from Jurassic World Kingdom or whatever. Jurassic Park, half the movie takes place in a basement of a mansion. It's the little girl. That little girl who pushes the button at the end of the movie. She goes, boop, let's just kill everyone because they're like me. No. What were you doing? So really, I'm going to go back to your response here and talk about Owen Grady. He just watched as this little girl pushes a big red button, releasing dinosaurs into the public, just killing innocent people, just velociraptors running across a baseball field with little kids playing baseball, just eating them alive, which I'd like to see. But it's just sort of like, I can't like his character any longer when he watches an atrocity like that take place and just stands idly by. No, you take that little girl's hand and you slap it and you say, no, I don't care if you're a mutant little clone girl. You got to dispose of her immediately and not let her push the big red button. What was I talking about? Let's keep going. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Geek Truth 64. Hey, John, how was the revisit to Mega Replay? Yeah. Thanks for looking at my YouTube story, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I went back to town this weekend, and I went to Mega Replay. I would say most of the shit they had in there was the same shit they had from like 2012, like 87 copies of Sum of All Fears and 9,000 copies of Vantage Point on Blu-ray. They didn't actually have a big 4K selection, which highly disappointed me, but it was fun. It still smelled the same, and I liked that. Goozer, hey John, would you mind shouting out a podcast I love? The Brothers Movie Factory. They're on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. Yeah, the Brothers Movie Factory. Okay, I'll actually look into that. I'm always on the hunt for a good podcast. I usually listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. Some good stuff on there. Or you can listen to my podcast exclusively on Patreon. All right. Lone Tiger, you used to do video questions from fans. Will you ever do anything like that in the future where you can actually hear the voice or we can talk to each other? I used to do video questions. Yeah, that was when YouTube still had the video response feature, right? That's when I used to do it. So that made sense. Now it's too much of a pain in the butt because you have to email me your video or something. Then I have to download the video. Then I have to take a snippet of your video, put it into another video, pre-record the Q&A video. Or I could just do a live stream where I can do this. So probably, to be honest with you, probably not. I would like to start doing something where maybe I can invite viewers into a live stream. Maybe I'm just too stupid to figure it out. I need to figure out the logistics to it. Craig Thompson, favorite Jack Black movie? Airborne. Oh, you don't know what that is? It's a movie in the early 1990s, starring Seth Green, where they rollerblade for respect. No, favorite Jack Black movie? Probably School of Rock, I would say, is his best movie. Imran Jabbar, and by the way, speaking of School of Rock, I remember working a shitty job, getting off work and seeing that movie at like 11 o'clock at night, and then going to school the next day. Imran Jabbar, favorite childhood memory relating to movies. Also appreciate the effort you put into pronouncing the names of the world. Cheers from London, Ontario. Well, thank you. My pronunciations of everything it's terrible, I know. But it adds to the charm and the stupidity that I give you guys. Favorite childhood memory relating to movies? Whew, that's a tough one. Let me try to pinpoint one for you, though. Really let me search deep down inside and find one. I remember when I was a little kid, I had a dog, a very large dog named Boomer. And when I was a little stupid kid, I used to watch it on VHS, but what I would do is I would lay on my dog's belly like he was a pillow, and he'd just let me lay there for hours. And I'd watch Dumbo. I remember that. Good times. Makes me sad. All right. Ricardo, New Mutants or The Last Stand? I'm going to itch my eye with the microphone. Okay. Probably The Last Stand. The Last Stand is at least sort of fun to look at. Like, it's a guilty pleasure movie. There's a few fun scenes in The Last Stand. Overall, it's sort of bad. It's still a better take on the Dark Phoenix storyline than the newest one that we got, though. I will say that. But New Mutants just felt so... Like, you could just tell they went back in and reshot half the movie and then, like, tried to put it together. I did like the one... I did like a few of the characters in New Mutants. I didn't hate watching New Mutants. I think if it was like a Netflix movie, it would have been like, oh, okay, that was okay. It's still not a good movie, but it wasn't hard to get through. It was like an hour and a half movie. But Last Stand, I think, is sort of a guilty pleasure at this point. I don't hate Last Stand. I don't think it's very good, but I still like watching Wolverine in the movie, like especially when I can't remember her name. What is the Femke Jensen, whatever her name is? Why can't I not remember this actress's name? Yeah, Famke Janssen. Okay. Anyway, when she's like disintegrating Wolverine and he's trying to claw his way up at her to kill her and his skin's melting off, that's cool. I like that. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. And then I just ruined the movie with one line, as they did as well. All right. Brett Ratner. Good job, buddy. Mauz Ahmad. Gangs of New York is utter trash, like awful. I disagree with that. I like Gangs of New York. Bill the Butcher was great. Cameron Diaz was terribly cast and kind of ruined the movie. I don't disagree with that. But I kind of liked looking at like 1800s dirty New York. I think they could have done a little bit more with that. But overall, I like Gangs of New York. It's definitely not one of my favorite Scorsese films at all, but I could watch Gangs of New York right now. There's enough I like about it. I don't think it's terrible, though. Damn 5271, our movie's life, that's all I got for now. I mean, life imitates art and art imitates life. Yes, movies are life in one way or another. I've said this before. Movies to me are like little emotions. They're little emotions that you can pick and choose what you want to feel, what you want to watch at any given time, and you can go into that reality and live there for a little bit. It's just pure escapism. That's what movies are to me. Salia Hani. I'm sorry. Sali Bon E Hani. Well, thanks for the super chat. You didn't ask a question, and I'm sorry I butchered your name, man. Night King 01. No one can do fight scenes like Jackie Chan. Absolutely. That's the truth. Just no one can. Plus the likability. Jackie Chan might be the most likable actor in existence. I stand by that. Forbidden Fruit 73. Good night, Mr. Magical Mystical. Well, thank you. Good night to you. And sleep tight. Thanks for joining me. Javier, have you heard of the new Wolfman movie being developed with Ryan Gosling? Lee Wana Upgrade, The Invisible Man, is set to direct and co-write with the writers of Orange is the New Black. They describe it as Nightcrawler with a supernatural twist. I have heard about that. That gets me excited. Whenever you say a movie's going to be sort of like Nightcrawler, well, first you get my curiosity, and then you get my attention. I can't wait. That sounds perfect to me. That sounds perfect. If you have a Wolfman character who's sort of a sociopath, but when he just loses his shit, he becomes like the Wolfman and rages out, and you set it into a realistic environment where it's not overly fantastical. Like if you would just take Wolfman and put him in like American Psycho or something. Yeah, I like that. Yes, that sounds phenomenal to me, and I think Ryan Gosling will pull it off, so I can't wait. That's what got me most excited about that movie. And plus, it's going to have a good director as well, so that also helps. Camo Yimmy, favorite sci-fi show between 1, Dark, 2, Raised by Wolves, 3, Altered Carbon. I tried to watch Altered Carbon. I watched one episode. I couldn't do it. I tried. I just couldn't do it. Raised by Wolves, I have not seen yet, but I do want to watch it. Do you guys like Raised by Wolves? Have you watched it? The premise sounds great. It's on HBO, so I think it'll be a quality show. And Dark, I never got around to watching either. So, but Raised by Wolves intrigues me. Azim the Dream reviews, do you think Cobra Kai has a realistic fighting because people say Jackie Chan fights are too choreographed? Same argument for lightsaber battles in the prequels, way too much choreographed compared to the original Star Wars trilogy. Yeah, the biggest complaint with the prequels was everything felt like it was on a green screen, or people sitting around at couches giving expositional dialogue about meaningless politic trades that no one gives a shit about. I agree. Jackie Chan fights being choreographed are an art form. They make sense for Jackie Chan. And when it comes to Cobra Kai fight scenes, the thing about Cobra Kai is it's cheesy. It's a little bit hokey, but it's the right amount of cheese and hokiness to be fun. If it was an ultra serious show, it wouldn't work. So when you look at some of the fight choreography in Cobra Kai, yeah, it's a little choreographed at times. Yes, I do agree. At times, Cobra Kai almost feels like a CW show, but it holds back just enough to be more than that. So I get what you're saying, but it's one of those shows that I'm so invested in and I enjoy watching it so much, I sort of don't overly focus on it. And sometimes when you if you make a show about like high schoolers fighting each other in a high school and there's 25 fights going on at one time, if it's too ultra realistic, I think that would almost like ruin the tone. Like I like how it's a little bit like over the top with the karate fighting. It's like a very extreme version of itself. Geek Truth 64. Boomer was the dog in Independence Day. Good name. Yeah, well, Boomer was my dog's name before Independence Day ever came out. So I'm going to say they took influence from me and my family somehow, some way. Roland Emmerich was in the closet of our house when I was a child. Obed Arzaga. I showed my wife Point Break and she likes the remake better. Fast and the Furious. We'll get a divorce immediately right now. Your wife is wrong. Yeah, well, I will say Fast and Furious was a better Point Break remake than the actual remake of Point Break, which was an abomination against humanity, and even mentioning its name should be punishable by death. So, hey, fair enough. Maybe she just likes Vin Diesel. I don't know. Sea Cruise, John, big fan, just watched Nightcrawler for the first time. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Loved it. Do you know the name of the movie playing in the background early in the movie? It's an old movie with Danny Kaye, saw American Psycho for the first time. Paul is murdered on my birthday. But I have a slightly better haircut. Well, interesting. That's very interesting. Do I know the movie playing in the background early on in Nightcrawler? I don't remember which movie's playing in the background. I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't know. I wish I did. I should know that. But I do not. Maybe if someone can help him out, let him know. But thanks, Sea Cruise, for the Streamlabs donation, man. And happy belated birthday. Trying to think of the date that Paul Allen was murdered on. Huh. But I'm glad you watched both. I'm glad you watched both and enjoyed them. Everyone should not watch Nightcrawler. I don't understand people who have not seen it. Tiny Todd, one day the world will know what you really did to me. No, they won't. You guys know I showed the burial scene of Tiny Todd in the Blu-ray bin at Walmart. I buried Tiny Todd in the $5 Blu-ray bin at Walmart back in 2014. It's in a Flick Trip video. Go watch it. It still haunts my dreams. Night King 01. Jackie Chan fights work because he is the underdog. That or just the charisma and the fighting style of Jackie Chan. They're a little bit over the top and zany, but they work for what they need to do. Like, you wouldn't put a fight scene like that in, I don't know, in like The Dark Knight Rises. It would be a little bit odd. But in a Jackie Chan movie, it's completely immersive. You buy into it. All right, guys. So that's going to wrap up all the questions. Please do not ask any more questions because I don't want to miss them. And if I do miss them, I will feel guilty. I will go to bed cold and I will lay in the fetal position regretting everything. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, joining me. It's much appreciated. We'll do another live stream in a few days. But I have a vlog video that I shot when I went to see New Mutants that I still have been trying to edit. Something about when you shoot something on your iPhone, when you plug it into your computer to drag the files off your iPhone, the files are like all over the place and it's a pain in the ass. So I want to get a GoPro and shoot vlogs that way. So I'm just rambling on at this point. But anyway, guys, good night. Thank you, Joshua Garrison, who's a YouTube member. Thank all of you guys. The Movie Corner, can I get a shout out from my channel? Well, The Movie Corner. Go check it out right now. And Anthony Moose, I think the Safdie brothers would make a great action movie. Yeah, I'd watch an action movie by them. All right. And let me make sure I didn't miss anyone else's question. And I didn't. Okay, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And before I go, if you want to, give the live stream a thumbs up. It does help that stupid YouTube algorithm. It helps. That's YouTube. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.